Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei is the son of the greatest swordsman part 2. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support the SC4LTCSRXDS for writing that awesome fanfic and also make sure to comment on this story, link in description. Let's start this video. Issei never thought a few months prior that he would be going head to head with a phoenix. Such a thing left Issei at a disadvantage as fire and water do not mix, but it didn't mean anything to him. Rias, my dear, when will you give up and join my side? Issei heard this in the smooth talking way that the Phoenix House head spoke it, and it made him disgusted seeing that way that Riser was treating his master. Rias. For the last time, Riser. Rias immediately stood up and took a few steps away from Riser. Rias. I am not going to marry you, no matter what Devil Society thinks should be done as a form of preservation of the family. Riser. Come now, my betrothed, you and I both know that this is for the betterment of the Devil Society. Uniting the Grimoires and the Phoenixes at the hip is the best thing for the preservation of pure-breed devils. Rias. I disagree, you just want me for my family name, in which is despicable in my eyes. In fact, I will take the second option, decision by rating game. Riser. Preposterous, you are not old enough to play such a game. The silver sigil also containing the Grimoire rune appeared, and Graphia appeared out of it. Graphia. As witness, I have heard that she intends to fight you rather than marry you. As per the contract, she has 10 days to ready her forces. Riser. TCH, fine, even then your pieces are all pushovers, you will never defeat me, ha 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 ha. Riser disappeared in his magic circle with his peerage. Issei. Heh, this could be the best trial run that I will ever get. Graphia. Rias. What do you mean, Issei? Issei. I will explain it all once it has been done. This was all cryptic, but Rias decided not to dwell on it. Rias. We need to shore up our own capabilities. Graphia. I have also brought someone who can help you with that. The blonde-haired girl walked put from behind Graphia. Graphia. This is Asia, she was found amongst the fallen angels' territory. Her body had practically died, but there was a chance to revive her. For some reason all the priests and fallen had been slaughtered mysteriously, she has been under Sir Zech's protection since. Rias. And there goes one of my bishops. Asia. I'm Asia Argento, a pleasure to meet you. She said this with a bow and with a nervous look on her face. Rias. What is her ability, or perhaps is it a sacred gear? Graphia. Twilight healing, she can heal anyone with great efficiency and it doesn't drain her the slightest bit. But putting that aside, you will need to train. Issei. I agree. Rias. We will begin training tomorrow, don't be late. Issei. Before we are dismissed, could I get Kaneko to stay for a moment? Rias. Rias. Yes, you're right. Kaneko, after school, Issei needs you for something. Kaneko. Nods. The day passed like usual with him having to deal with multiple confessions from girls and deal with the perverts Mitsuda and Madahama. Issei was bored and went through the whole of school jotting down notes and other things he needed for school. And with that the school day ended. Issei. Finally. The meeting took place after school and it was the usual as expected, and so the meeting ended. Once everyone has vacated the room, Issei secured it by putting up a barrier. Issei. So Kaneko, what did you make of the items you received? Kaneko. I don't know what to think, most of it being that my own sister abandoned me, but her journal and her old master's journal paints a different picture. Issei. Would you like to meet her again? Kaneko. What do you mean? Issei. She is my mate, I can ask her to see you if you wish it, she wants to be back on good terms with you. Issei said this while leaning against the wall and with a focused look on his face. Kaneko. Yes. Issei. Okay. Issei whistled at a high pitch that only Kaneko and Kuroka could hear, and without even waiting a magic circle appeared on the floor, and out of it came Kuroka. Issei. Kuroka, take it slow, she doesn't know what to think yet. Kuroka understood silently. Kaneko. SS sister. Issei. S. Kaneko with an unexpected outburst of joy rushed towards her sister, and both enjoyed a sisterly embrace. Issei smiling dropped the barrier and left the room. Issei. I will let you two be for now. Issei left and only came back later, in which the two were smiling and in an embrace. Rias came in behind him and saw this and also was in a smile. Rias. Issei, could you come with me to the other room please? Issei. Sure. Issei went into the other room, in which he was met with Rias tackling him and putting him on the bed. Rias. Issei, take me. Issei. I'm sorry but no. Rias. What? Am I not good enough? Issei. It's not that, but quite the opposite, you are a bombshell, no doubt about that, but I would prefer not to create more trouble for you. But one thing I guess I could do is perform the dragon's ritual of marking. Rias. Marking. Issei. Yes, I can claim you as one of my mates, however it will not get you out of the political marriage. However, it does give me something to fight for, in which I don't know how to say this without it sounding corny. Ah well, it would make me fight harder because I'm fighting on someone's behalf, especially one that I love. The Keno. Ara, did you intend that as well, Ria-san? Hearing Akeno in the dark made both of them jump, not noticing her peasants. Issei. I'm sorry, but what the hell? Akeno, only barely able to be seen by Issei, Wo's eyes were adjusting to the dark, sat on Issei's lap, in which Ria's was hugging his arm into her chest. Issei. In his head, so Raijin, is it because of my draconic aura that they are attracted to me or for an alternate reason? Raijin. In his head, it seems both are being genuine about their feelings. Especially Akeno, her scent is powerful enough for me to detect it, and I'm just a sacred gear. Both. Issei. Issei. I'm sorry, what? Ria's. Marcus. Issei marked them both with his dragon sigil, marking them as his mates. Raijin. In his head, that's 3 women you have to take care of now, you lady killer, ha 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 ha. Ria's. Issei. Issei. Yes. Ria's. Do you mind if we move into your home? Issei. Are you sure about this? You know you will have to share with Kuroka and Akeno. Ria's. Yes, I don't mind it. After all, it's normal for both devils and dragons to have multiple mates since the outcome of the last war. Issei. As long as you're fine with it. Issei went home with 2 more girls in tow, and Kuroka being very competitive in trying to see who turned Issei on more. Issei ignored them and just went to sleep, knowing that if he didn't sleep, he wouldn't be able to accurately increase his capacity to his tactical abilities. The next day, Kuroka. Hey Issei, there is something from Zechi's-sama. He says it's urgent. Issei opened the letter from hell, and it laid out 2 chances he could claim Zechi's sister as his own, one being as he is from a noble dragon house due to his sword or via raiding game. Issei. This is quite under the table, I should probably call him. Issei calls and it connects, and it's just as the letter says. Zechi's. You could go the dragon route, but you will be on your own, or you can take the other route, which is the use of allies. You can go either way, I leave it up to you. However, I need your answer by tonight because the plans will be set in stone and nothing will be able to be changed. Issei. Explain the dragon route in thorough detail, it's not quite time to go yet and your sister and her queen had to leave early anyways. Zechi's. Wait, she was there at your home? Issei. I didn't mean to offend, sir, in fact I. Issei was interrupted by Zechi's laughing so hard that he was even coughing. Zechi's. Offend. Haha, no, in fact you should have known me by now, Issei, since I'm quite the schemer. You should have realized it by now. Issei's eyes widened, then even he began to laugh. Zechi's. You finally realized it, huh? Issei. You got me good on this one, sir. Trying to unite the dragon race and demon race using me and cementing it and securing it using your sister. That is quite the scheme. However, I don't think you're going to need to force her, she seems to be coming on to me. Zechi's. Oh. Please do tell. Issei explains the actions of Zechi's sister to Zechi's, in which he started laughing. Zechi's. So she tried to annul it using the old way, huh? It's a shame for her that that way is no longer viable, that way was ruled out 5 years ago. Anyways, it's about time and you should probably get going, otherwise you'll be late to training. Issei. Yes, sir. Issei shut off the call and then had Kuroka move him by magic circle to an area of the school that was inconspicuous. In which it was behind the old school building, and he walked to the meet-up point where everyone was waiting for him. He was the last to arrive. Flashback. Issei. Have both plans for me to use, only having a plan A doesn't work for who you wish me to be. Zechi's. As you wish, however be prepared to live with the consequences, there will be many. So be ready to experience hell. Tannen roared with ferocity while Issei, knowing what Tannen wanted him to do, faked being unconscious, while Kiba, Kaneko, Akeno and Rias attacked the giant dragon, trying to fend it off so they can escape. Rias. Asia, try to heal Issei, we need him on his feet so we can beat this thing. Of course Issei knew that Tannen was just toying with them and having his fun while trying to gauge their power. Asia. Rias-sama, it's not working. Tannen. Alright, that's enough. Tannen said this, and everyone paused while looking at the dragon, and then Issei, who got up from his stupor, got up and asked Tannen a question. Issei. So what do you think, uncle? Everyone besides Tannen and Issei. Uncle. Tannen. Ha ha, they are nothing compared to what you and me are capable of, Issei. Rias. Were you testing us? Tannen. Yep, but knowing the circumstances, you have a very difficult battle ahead of you against a fighter who doesn't know defeat, but that can also be an advantage. I have a regimen in mind now. Issei, will you assist me in this, being one of my star students? Issei. Yes, uncle. Issei helped with the tasks ahead, and at the halfway point there was a test to test one another's abilities, with Asia increasing her strengths by using her healing abilities. Tannen. For your test you will all be fighting Issei. You will be given a 5-minute head start to set up whatever tricks and treats you deem necessary. Remember not to hold back, for I will fix the damaged areas post-fight. Issei sat at the table looking at the clock, seeing that they had 30 seconds left before he went on the attack. Issei. My guess should get ready. Issei pulled out the storm blade and made sure it was clean and maintained, in which when the timer went off, Issei deployed his balance breaker and readied his sword, taking off in the air towards the scent of his prey. Asia. He's here. Kiba. I'll attack first. Rias. Do Akiba, Kaneko cover him and interrupt his abilities when you can. Issei noticed these voices as he now knew his opponent's plans, in which he walked forward and set off an explosive trap spell. Issei. Cough cough, I guess I can see that as an advantage. Kiba appeared behind him and swung downward, in which Issei blocked it with the storm blade, breaking the summon sword and shattering it, and Kaneko came from in front of him, kicking him aside. Issei. In his head, ha, karma's a bitch, I did that to her once, didn't I? Raijin. In his head, that you did. Issei smirked inside his helmet, spitting out a small bit of fluid from the damage that Kaneko had caused. Issei. Time limit on the armor. Raijin. 1 hour left. Issei looked around and noticed they are using his tactics, hitting and running when possible. Issei. Using hit and run tactics will work against a stronger opponent, but you guys need to focus on what you will do against his peerage. Is that so? Issei was too late to realize the power signature above and behind him, ready to hit him with a barrage of lightning. Issei. Oh crap. Issei bobbed and weaved through the storm and then took a hit from below him, where Rias hit him with a ball of destruction, knocking him out of the air. Issei. Good team tactics, but now I think it's time I took this seriously. Issei deploying both his demonic and draconic wings, releasing his full power and drawing his blade, disappearing and then attacking Kiba out of nowhere, destroying Kiba's blade again and then kicking backwards, knocking the wind out of his lungs and rendering him unconscious. Kaneko attacked next with her new clawed gauntlets, attacked Issei from behind, cutting through the dense armor with speed, but only pissing him off. Issei. Nice, but you need to strike a little deeper to do effective damage. Issei had a short fight with her, taking her down by grabbing her and throwing her towards a tree, which splintered on impact but made her unable to stand as she was dazed. Issei. Last 3, let's see where you are. Issei detected their energy signatures, in which he snuck up on Asia and didn't hurt her, knowing that she wasn't a fighter but a healer. He went after the king and queen next, who ambushed him from the sides with both energies doing plenty of damage to him, but not enough to consider him knocked out. Issei. Now that hurt, my turn. Rias. Where did he? Issei reappeared behind Ria's, blade drawn and across her neck. Issei. Game over. You need to find some better tactics, Prez, although using the one you did was quite effective against a single target, but I think you need something more flexible. In the meantime, let's head back. They headed back to the manor and Issei met up with Tannen. Tannen. So how did they do? Issei. Decent tactics for small numbers, but not effective enough against numbers that Riser and his goon squad put up. Tannen. Oh. So what's on the menu then? More harsh training. Issei. Harsh training. I don't think basic cardio and management of strength is harsh, it's just staying in shape. Something like that isn't harsh if you ask me. Anyways uncle, I need some training myself, look here. Issei showed him the impact location where Kaneko hit him and the cut location where she had cut through his armor. Tannen. Oh, what growth she has shown, if only she would use the latent power that a race contains. Issei. She isn't comfortable with it yet, so we shouldn't force her. Also, the only one who can effectively teach her on that subject is Kuroka. I guess I will have to run that past president before I get approval. But I need to take care of my training as well. Tannen, send me there. Tannen. As you wish, beware though, the red one still remains there. If he finds you he may fight you. Issei. If that happens I will find another way out. Tannen. You probably won't find a way out, but good luck to you. The dimensional gap. Unknown sector. Issei checks his surroundings to make sure Great Red is not nearby and then begins the process. Issei. Water clones. Issei generates multiple copies of every OP he has fought with water and begins his training, forcing them to be more intense on him, and day after day he learns something new to loosen his ability to be honor bound with the sword which he learned from his father, further enhancing his ability to use a sword and even further making the balance breaker armor even thicker, using water barriers as a form of field to protect from long range or short range based energy attacks. But today is different. Raijin. Partner, something is wrong, don't strain yourself. Issei. What? An explosion of power surrounds Issei, and he notices something about the sword. It's starting to glow, and it changed form from a short sword to an English-style two-handed longsword. Raijin. Ha ha ha. I have evolved. Stormblade Kai. Issei, feeling the power rush from the sword, smiled behind the face mask of the balance breaker armor and attacked the water clones one after another, with blade drawn going after each one and being able to take down a mutated devil with one swing. Issei. I guess it's my turn to evolve as well. I wonder if I can influence the armor. Raijin. Wait partner, I do think it is wise to. Issei forced some of the energy towards his armor and it gained an aquamarine color while having adamantite strength and is resistant to heat as tungsten. Issei. Stormblade Kai. Scale Mail Kai. Strength of Heaven Kai. Raijin. I guess you could, but how long can you hold that form while taking damage? More water clones appear, and they seem even tougher than the last ones. 30 minutes later, Issei is sweating profusely and seems to be fighting when he is close to being on fumes. Issei. I guess I should stop for today or else I will drain myself so much I won't be able to go back. Something bumped into Issei from behind, and he noticed it was another sacred gear user, but in white and blue. Raijin. The vanishing dragon, what is it doing here? We are here because of dire circumstances. I am Albion, would you care to introduce yourself? Raijin. I am the storm dragon Raijin. Albion. Would you take us with you back to wherever you are going? If we remain here my host will die. Issei. I got it. Issei sent a message to Tannen, who opened a new gate and brought Issei through. Tannen. I see you have brought a friend. Issei. No, just a fellow dragon user. The armor released, and when the particles disappeared, a female with steel blue hair appeared out of the armor, but in the attire of the church. Issei. Tannen, we need to find this person a place to hide. If anyone caught on to this could mean war. Tannen. No can do, kid, you brought her here, it's your issue. Issei. But uncle, she can still be claimed as a dragonkin because of her aura. Tannen. I guess, but without that sacred gear on her back she won't mean squat in our territory. Issei. She seems to be waking. Tannen. I will let you explain it all later, kid. Issei. You bastard, get back here. Issei looked down to see the girl on the floor draw a sword and bring it close to his neck. He would have died if he had not blocked it. Who the hell are you, where am I and why? Albion. Calm down, partner, a fellow dragon was able to retrieve us from the abyss that is the dimensional gap. If anything, you should thank him. Your energy was on the verge of being completely drained, in which you could have died. So if anything, you owe this guy your life. Raijin. That reminds me to ask Albion, how did you end up in the dimensional gap? Albion. My partner was ousted from the church because she discovered something she wasn't supposed to see, in which many tried to kill her, and their final solution was to give her a slow death inside the dimensional gap. I supplemented power for her as much as I could and siphoned some off of Big Red too just to keep her alive. He didn't attack, so he didn't seem to care one bit. Raijin. So does that make her a fallen or a rogue priest? Albion. Rogue priest on the run, but I doubt any priests would come down to the underworld. If they did, it would mean another war. Issei. I guess that explains her attire. Then you have my thanks. Issei. Haidu. Issei Haidu. I am Zenobia. I know we are in the underworld, but is it really okay for me to be here? Issei. Probably not, but I think I can get my master to induct you if you will accept. Zenobia. Sure. In the manner. Rias. Issei, who is that you are carrying? You haven't even carried me like that. Issei blushed while still carrying Zenobia, and a princess carry, in which Zenobia spoke up. Zenobia. I'm still weak from when your servant saved me. I can't exactly walk yet, I feel quite lightheaded. Rias. I see. Bekeno. Is Issei cheating? Issei. I am not. I was just. Raijin. Partner. Issei shut up immediately, knowing why. Rias. Well, who is this and why is she here? Issei explained the whole dimensional gap incident and how he got much stronger, as well as the state in which he found the White Dragon Emperor floating through the gap without a means of escape. Rias. So you did it out of the kindness of your heart. Issei. Is there something wrong with that, Prez? Rias. No, under her breath, as long as she is not competition. Zenobia. Since I am no longer a member of the church, would you take me into your noble house? I can be of use to you. Rias. How so? Zenobia. Being both the White Dragon Emperor and a holder of Durandal could come in handy. Issei. 2 gears. Rias. That should be possible. Albion. Unfortunately, my partner is also a bit of an idiot as well. She got the ability to wield both at the cost of some of her life force. When she first obtained it, I had to substitute some of that lost life force with dragon essence, though unlike a god-class dragon I can't produce it, I can only use it. Raijin. Perhaps I can help with that. Partner, hold still for a moment and I will replace the lost essence with some of my own. Albion. Stop, you are not of god class, and what if your partner needs it for? Raijin. It's too late for that. My partner embraced being draconic because it was a choice of life and death for him. Our dragon essences are different from each other and are separate. Albion. I see, my apologies, Gremory Heiress, that you would have to see a heavenly dragon in such a state. In fact, I must ask you to make her one of your pieces. It will be worth your while. Rias. I guess so. Issei, lay her on the medical bed in the next room and leave us. Issei. Before I do that, we must talk about a sensitive matter when you get the chance. Rias. I can make time, now let's get a move on. After setting down Zenobia, Issei left and went to go take a shower and cool off, considering how hard he worked himself trying to maintain the adamantite armor, as well as keep the barriers from falling, while he was focusing on all aspects. Issei. Hey Raijin, what is our chances based on what has occurred? Raijin. That depends, partner. Do you intend to crush him or humiliate him? Issei. Crush him if we try to toy with him, he will just take us out one by one while he bides his time. Raijin. If you went all out and Issei. No. Raijin. Why? Issei. If I relinquish control there is no guarantee I will be able to get it back. Raijin. But if you did, you could crush them in an instant with the cold ocean of despair. Think about it, you would easily crush his mind. Issei. But remember the rules specifically say that doing something like that during a raiding game is forbidden. Raijin. If you think so partner, but if you want my summary, you will do fine, but everyone else is still a liability. I will leave you to it then. Issei thought about what he just heard and put his hands on the wall and lowered his head deep and thought he didn't hear someone else enter. Akeno. Issei-kun. Issei. Hama, Akeno. Akeno entered after him and dropping her towel hugged him from behind, pressing tightly against his back in the hot shower. At this point, Issei was now standing straight up again. Akeno. You know you shouldn't worry too much about us. I know about the demon that resides within the deepest depths of your heart. Issei was surprised but didn't move an inch. Akeno. Would you like me to help you quell such a demon? She said this while tracing her hand along Issei's back, starting from the back of his neck, going down to his shoulder blade, where Kaneko had left a scar from the training session. Akeno. Would you like me to keep it in line? She continued tracing downward but going down and towards the front of his body, where he had gotten the star-shaped scar from a light spear, and downwards towards his belly button, and getting even closer to his manhood. Issei. Stop. Issei grabbed her hand before she could lay a hand on his manhood. Issei. If you don't stop now, I won't be able to hold back. You know that if you tempt and offer yourself to a dragon like that, they will take advantage of the situation. Akeno looked at his face which had a small blush, and looking into his eyes she noticed it. He was barely hanging on, and his eyes were shifting back and forth from draconic to normal, and the stare down was disrupted when Issei decided to put on his towel and leave wrapping it around his waist and heading to his room. Akeno's paw. Akeno. Aw too bad, I was hoping to make the first blow on the relationship. He is still quite cute though, he was playing tough, but he was flustered, so cute. Ria's paw. Ria's. So Zenobia, after being thrown put of the church you decide to become one of the demons. That's quite the distance to go just to keep yourself alive. Zenobia. It wasn't my original intention, I intended to see if I could get protection from the fallen, but this works as well. I am sorry to inconvenience you. Ria's. Alright, I will make you one of my pieces. However, do anything to hurt any of my family, especially my Issei, I will rip you apart. Zenobia. Yours huh? It sure doesn't seem that way, your queen seems to be trying to pounce on him as well, if the conversation communicates anything. But regardless I understand and will take up this responsibility. Riaz completes the ceremony, and the piece is absorbed into Zenobia's body in which she gets up and looks like she can properly walk now. Riaz. Let's talk more later, I need to attend to whatever Issei needed to communicate to me. Zenobia. Yes, master. Riaz. Not master, you can call me by my name. Zenobia. Understood, Riaz-sama. Riaz walks out of the room and makes her way towards Issei's room. Issei's paw. Raijin. That girl is very erotic to you isn't she? Issei. Yes but, I want to take care of business before I can attend to that. Raijin. It seems what you say and the way your body reacts are two different things. Issei. Oh give me a break, if you had a human form and had a woman pressing herself on you like that, would your body react any different? Raijin. Probably not fine I will let it go partner. Raijin disappeared back into the subconscious until someone knocked on the door. Issei. Come in. Riaz opens the door and then closes it behind her. Riaz. What would you like to speak about Issei? Issei. I would like to advance Kaneko's training. The only way to do it is through Kuroka. It's hard to word it in a manner in which Riaz. You would like the sisters to train together? Issei. That is the gist of it, yeah. Riaz. I will see if I can get her to be fine with it. In the meantime, Issei about Zenobia. Riaz and Issei have a long talk about that bad outcome this could have had if he wasn't careful, in which Issei was sternly verbally punished. Riaz. Is what I explained to you understood? Issei. Yes. Ria clears throat. President. Riaz was disappointed as he wouldn't say her name like normal, but she was content with the fact that she was being treated as a friend rather than a member of royalty. Riaz. Good. Dinner will be ready soon, come with me once you are dressed. Issei puts on some clothes, nice enough that it was respectful but casual, and exited the room. Riaz. You look as dashing as ever. Issei looked over and saw Riaz in a casual dress and waiting for Issei to step out of his room. Is walked forward and instinctually offered his hand, which she took reluctantly. Akeno. Ara such the gentleman as always Issei-kun. Akeno came from the opposite side of Riaz and took Issei's other arm, in which they made their way towards the dining room and all sat at their respective spots at the table. During this time Issei kept himself composed and ate neatly and excused himself to have some time to himself. Issei. So, Raijin about my table manners. Raijin. No complaints really, you maintained a solid picture in my opinion. though you may have made yourself more tempting in their eyes. Issei. I figured as much, I'm going to sleep. Raijin. Really? Issei. Really? Raijin. Well, don't complain if you wake up being spooned by 2 or 3 members of your master's peerage. Issei. Well, last I checked, didn't a famous hero sleep a lot of the time after eating and training? Raijin. You speak of Heracles. Though yes, it did give him an outstanding physical appearance and outcome, it took him many years to achieve that look. Is that one of your goals? Issei. No, but I do like how he had it set out. His trainer knew exactly what to do. Regardless, good night. Raijin. See you in the mindscape if you can reach it. Issei laid himself down on his bed and calmly drifted into sleep. This time Issei did not reach the mindscape. In fact, he dreamt of the night that he had met Asia, though she still doesn't know it was him. Issei dreamt of that night, him stalking his enemies that remained, a man in a trench coat and a woman in a black dress. He remembered how hard it was to take them put in a straight-up fight, but he handled it regardless. He remembered entering the church and going against a rogue priest, one that was set to murder anyone associated with devils and indiscriminately kill devils and priests with ties to the church. Though he couldn't quite remember the guy's name as it was not important at the time, he defeated him by only a little, forcing the rogue priest to retreat because his sword was destroyed, and having been disarmed of his gun, the guy was quite vulgar and in Issei's opinion could be considered scum. Moving on from there, knowing that priest had escaped and going into the basement, or what could be considered a basement, and seeing Rainer with a blonde girl tied to a machine that could remove sacred gears. Issei's main target was that machine and any priests or fallen that attacked rather than ran. But he destroyed the machine and forced Rainer to escape with nothing and the rest of the rogue priests to scatter, accomplishing his job. And knowing that the blonde girl saw his armored form, he gave her to Grafia and asked her Anzetches to take care of her, as she could come in handy as one of Ria's peerage members. He wondered though, why did she feel so calming, and why did he have these feelings to protect her at that time? He pondered this in his sleep but found no answer. Alas, he had to wake up noticing that the sound of his alarm was getting louder and louder. Issei. Shut up. Issei said this while hitting snooze on the alarm, and when he tried to get up he seemed very heavy on the area on his chest. Throwing back the covers he discovered a fellow dragon sleeping on him. Issei. Zenobia. Zenobia. Zenobia got up and was groggy and rubbed her eyes, not noticing where she was until she was fully conscious. Zenobia. Oh wait, I'm in Issei's room. How did I get here? Albion. You have a very bad case of sleepwalking, partner. Raijin. Did she walk all the way here in the middle of the night? Albion. Albion. Yes, I tried to wake her, but it seems she is a heavy sleeper. Raijin. Haha. You're a chick magnet even in your sleep, partner. Blah ha ha ha. Issei. If you say so, Raijin. Issei notices a flare of anger as the door opens, revealing Riaz in a very irritated mood. Riaz. Zenvia, if you hurt my Issei I swear I will Riaz walks in to see a naked Zenobia on top of Issei, who is now sitting up. Akeno. Ara, it seems someone beat you to the punch, Riaz-sama. Issei. Anyways, Zenobia, you can borrow my shirt since you walked here and didn't seem to bring any clothes. She grabbed the shirt and put it on, then moved herself off of Issei's body, but ever so slightly grinding, which seemed to make Riaz even more angry. Then a communication circle appeared on his hand. Issei. Who is calling me? Issei answers and hears a familiar voice. Rainer. Issei, I have been thinking, why did you spare my life that night? Issei. What do you mean? Rainer. You know exactly what I mean. Issei excused himself from the room and went around the corner, however the 3 girls were listening to him as he spoke. Issei. Are you talking about Rainer? Stop being so coy. You know exactly what I am referring to. Issei. Well then, 2 things. First off, as a part of the Gremory household, killing off a princess of the fallen angels would not have left much room for negotiation. Princess Rainer. Rainer. What? How did Azazel told you, didn't he? Issei. No, but I did put 2 and 2 together after doing some digging and found put as much, and also for my second reason, I was ordered to destroy that horrid machine and to kill those who got in my way. You decided to run unlike your colleagues who decided to fight. Don't take it as me calling you a coward, it's more along the lines of not killing unnecessarily. Rainer. But Issei. I have to go, but if you want to talk about this another time feel free to call. Issei dispelled the communication circle and turned around to see Riaz, Akeno and Zenobia staring at him and explained, now look, Issei. I bet you want to know who that was about. Issei explained the whole night to them, and it obviously angered Riaz, and Issei knew exactly why. Riaz. Why didn't you tell me? We could have helped. Issei. No offense, Prez, but as the team was, I didn't want to risk the death of one of your pieces. After all, I'm a pawn, and this was a while ago. If I had died, then no one would be the wiser. The only ones that would mourn would be Tannen, Zetches and Kuroka. Riaz. You still could have gotten yourself killed. I don't like the idea of you going off on your own thinking it's a suicide mission and no one can help you. Issei. But even so, your peerage was much weaker than it is now. Think back to when I met you at the warehouse and how we fought. If you were as strong as you thought you were, I shouldn't have been able to escape. Issei covered up the fact that it was Kuroka who had brought him back to his home and nearly escaped being hit by Akeno's thunder. Rias. How long ago? Issei. The day before I officially met you, I knew exactly who you were thanks to your brother, but there were some loose ends to tie up and a horrid machine to destroy, but I ended up saving someone in the process. Zenobia. You saved who? Issei. I saved that young blonde that is in our peerage. She was going to have her sacred gear forcibly removed, a process that would have killed her if I hadn't intervened. Her name is Asia. Do you know her? Zenobia. Zenobia. So the witch joined the devils, huh? Issei. Watch your tongue. After all, you are hardly in any position to be talking like that either, considering you also were ousted by the church. This shut Zenobia up but made Rias happy seeing him defend his fellow peerage members. Issei. Regardless, I think it's time, Prez. Zenobia. For what? Rias. For members of the peerage to receive their familiars. They come in handy, being able to do tasks for their masters that would normally be a waste of time for them. Issei, Asia and Zenobia need to get one. Issei. I don't need it. Rias. But, Issei. I'm fine with doing devil work, besides I need to increase my activity in the club or I will be eligible to be kicked out or be put on probation. Rias. If you insist. The next 4 days pass and the last day comes. Issei, napping the day away, reached the mindscape once again. Issei's father. My son, this will be my last interaction to you. There is something I must show you. The mindscape then moved back to his old house and Issei was saddened at seeing this, and Issei's father pats him on the back and gestures him to follow. Issei's father. I have been watching you and I now believe you are worthy of my title and family name as well as what remains of what I owned. I have already notified Tannen in his dreams of this and he will refer to you under this title. Kneel. Issei. Excuse me. Issei's father. Kneel, the title cannot be passed on unless you do so. Issei. Understood. Issei kneeled on his left knee and his father took the sword from him in its new form and turned it sideways. Issei's father. For knowledge and service, for doing battle for noble causes and maintaining your own limits and pushing past them, I now give you my title, my son. See King Issei Haidu Gallagher, rise my son. Issei stood up on both feet and noticing his body starting to glow. Issei's father. Now I will tell you my name, though just a legend. The Gallaghers were thought to be extinct, stopping at me, but now you will make it clear that we have not died out at the next trading game by this. Issei's balance breaker was forced on and atop his helmet, where it was usually a dragon's head on the helmet, it turned into a crown made of golden bones. Issei's father. You will also wipe that coward Kakabiel from existence and show them the fury of our damaged family. For my name is Henry Felix Johnson Gallagher. Now go, my son. Go. Issei awoke the next day early in the morning and knew that his silent life was about to become even more busy than before. Rias. Let's get ready, they are expecting us to be ready for the game. Issei looked over everyone and took a good look. Issei. I think you are all ready after the lashing you gave me the other day during training. I think so, but know well that I believe myself to be what is called Captain Gold, which means I am no more stronger, no weaker than him, for he is a cocky bastard, but don't take any of them lightly, as this will be a long fight. Asia. Will I be in any danger? Issei. No. Rias. No, I intend to keep you near me, however we will be working in rotations, but we need to know our battleground before we can properly plan for who attacks who. Rafia. The time has come, my lady. Rias. It's time, let's show them that we are not objects to be toyed with. They step into the circle and are teleported to the battleground. Zenobia. Where is this? Asia. Did it not work? Rias. No, him being a cocky bastard chose a battlefield that we know well. He thinks he can beat us on our home turf. Location. Underworld raiding game field. Copy of Kuo Academy. Rias. It seems quite clear that since we are in our original club room, they are most likely in the room Citri occupies. The student council room. Rafia. The match of Grimory vs Phoenix will begin in 1 minute, begin planning. Rias. Kiba. Tiba. Yes, President. Tiba pulls out a tube with a map of the school grounds, labeling all entries and exits including other details. Rias. Now we should do like we did in training, make traps and then spring them as we go. However, there is one tactical point which should be destroyed, so it can be used against us. The gym needs to be destroyed, but we should wait for them to occupy it, then spring the trap. Issei continued to listen but had one suggestion. Issei. One question, Prez. Rias. Issei. Issei. Remember, I have a certain skillset. I would like to give them a good scare at the same time as when we destroy the tactical point. Rias. I don't know, that could leave us exposed. Issei. Prez, please trust me. Zenobia. Remember, you also have me. Though Zenobia didn't receive a full round of training, her skill with the sword made up the difference, and her dividing gear as a trump card, as long as it remained hidden until it was needed. She was able to fight equal to Kiba though with less training. Rias. Fine, but do it quickly and only when I signal to do it. Issei. As you order it, my king. Rafia. Time's up, let the games begin. Rias. Kaneko and Kiba, you will be our scouts. Let Akeno know when the gym is occupied with opponents. Doing that will slow them down. In the meantime, Asia wait here with me, and Zenobia be somewhere in the middle, in case they flank around the advanced party. Now go, my servants. All of them took off, and Issei, using his assassin skills, stuck to the shadows to avoid being spotted and followed the flow of water along the school's pipes. At first it surprised Issei that they would add the liquid and gases in the pipes, but decided he would use that to his advantage. Communication circle. Kiba, Akeno, we have signs of 1 rook and 2 pawns heading into the gym. Strike when ready. Issei heard this and hurried to his striking point. Issei communication circle, ready. Rias. Begin. Issei saw a large flash of light strike down into the gym building, completely flattening it and annihilating anyone that was inside. Issei. My turn. Issei snuck through TH's new school building and saw exactly what he was looking for, the enemy queen just standing there. Rafia. 2 pawns and 1 rook belonging to Phoenix are eliminated. Phoenix. TCH, not bad, but now she has to recover. Go, my queen, and strike her down before she can hide. Phoenix queen. Yes, Lord Riser. Issei. I don't think so. Issei stepped in and struck down the enemy queen with a swing of his sword, completely eliminating her, so she cannot use the Phoenix tears they had with them. Phoenix. You dare. Issei. Yes, I do. Issei kicked him backwards and ran before covering his tracks by summoning the water in the pipes to blow open and cover his escape. Rafia. Riser Phoenix Queen has been eliminated. In the home of Zetches. Phoenix Househead. That boy. Such a well done plan, but such a coward. Zetches. You think so, huh? Are you sure they are not showing an ace that was up their sleeve? This made B. Cursant, head of the Phoenix clan, to start sweating bullets as he knew that whatever piece that bow was called easily take out Riser's peerage if done right. Back on the battlefield. Rias. Communication circle, that was your plan, Issei. Issei. Communication circle, yep, the plan was to let him know we can strike anywhere at any time and reach him, letting him know that will mess with his mind, also taking out a key piece such as the queen early will increase our chances of victory. Rias. Okay, but just so you know, he won't fall for that twice. You may have forced him to increase his security. Issei. And that will weaken the amount of forces he can deploy on the field. An explosion rocks the building and it ends with someone being eliminated. Rafia. Last Gremory Rook has been eliminated. Issei. Damn, there goes Kaneko. Kiba. Don't worry, I can still manage. Zenobia. I'll back him up. Rias. No, hold position. Issei, since you are behind them, stab them in the back for me. Issei. Yes, ma'am. Issei made it out of the building, and just as expected he came out right behind both of Riser's bishops. Issei. Jackpot. Ravel. Who? Bishop. What? Issei takes out one of the bishops, leaving Ravel standing. Issei. Sorry, but it's my job to take you guys out. Rafia. 1 bishop under the Phoenix clan has been eliminated. Issei. Are you a spectator or a fighter? If you give the answer spectator and try to kill me, I won't hesitate to strike back. Ravel. I am just here to watch. Hearing that, Issei took off towards the last position. Kaneko was in expecting enemies. But Kiba was keeping them all at bay by himself until one of them got a lucky strike in. Kiba. Kiba took a hit to his back with a long gash appearing on his body. Issei. Your turn. Issei came in fast and brought his sword down in an arch, cutting one of the enemy knights in half. Zenobia. Communication circle, enemy pieces approaching, enigaging. Rafia. 1 knight under the service of House Phoenix eliminated. Issei looked over and saw Kiba collapse from blood loss. Rafia. 1 knight under House Gremory eliminated. Issei. I guess it's all or nothing now, all bets are off. Phoenix Knight. What? Issei. Storm Dragon balance break. Issei appeared in his grey armor, but with one change to his armor, the golden crown crest on his armor from his father. Raijin. Behold, all ye who fear the storm's wrath, it has come for you today. For the last descendant of the Galagers has come to destroy you. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, take lives and expect your own to be taken as well. Storm Dragon balance breaker Kai. Issei. In his mind, was that a chant you had to do or were you just showing off? Raijin. In Issei's head, a little bit of both, I can't wait to say that. Phoenix Knight. Damn you. I'm going to tear out your innards. The knight and 3 other pawns charged him with swords raised and ready to strike out of anger, in which Issei drew his sword and broke all of the Riser pieces' swords, as well as killed as many as possible. Then Ravel arrived. Ravel. Camping a downed piece is a dirty trick, you half-breed. Issei. If I did not, you would heal them, but then again, I guess I won't mind the fight. Issei deployed his wings and took off towards Zenobia, who was fighting the remaining enemy pawns. Zenobia. You guys are much tougher than I thought. Issei noticed she was smiling and knew then why she was largely expressionless. It seemed like she could only get that feel-good feeling from being in battle. Issei. So she's a battle maniac, huh? Akeno. It seems like it. Issei only then noticed that Akeno had also came out to provide backup to Zenobia, but also saw it wasn't really necessary. Why are you all just standing there? Issei turned around to see Riser behind him 100 yards away, easily within striking distance of both Issei and Akeno. Issei. Communication circle, Rias. Riser. Don't refer to her so lightly, you lowborn scum. A coward like you doesn't deserve a master like her. Issei. Continuing what I was saying, permission to go all out. Rias. Granted, go my pawn, show him we are not to be taken lightly. Akeno continued to provide backup for Zenobia. Issei. Ma'am, pull everyone off the field, I have something to show everyone watching. Moments later inside the home of Zetches. Zetches. Ha 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 ha. He had that much power built up. Just enough for one explosion. Phoenix head. Riser. Graphia. My god. Graphia curled up in pain at saying the name God, referring to the Christian Catholic god. Tiamat. Lord Zetches, we must call this off. If Lady Gremory was caught in that, she could be hurt. Zetches. No need to worry, look there. Off to the side, Rias, Zenobia, Asia and Achaean were spotted heading away from the affected area. Back on the battlefield a few moments before. Issei. Bolt of Zeus, rain down and destroy this one who would desecrate the homes of many. The clouds opened and a large bolt of lightning came down and impacted in the middle of the school, sending debris everywhere and leveling the new school building, but leaving the old school building intact. Issei. He huffed as this put a massive amount of strain on his body until he took a deep breath in and exhaled. Strike complete, targets eliminated. The smoke cleared and THS remaining pieces from Riser's peerage were eliminated while a thunderstorm raged around the point of impact. Graphia. My god, ow. Issei. My teammate seemed to be alive, but where is Riser? Graphia. All remaining pieces of Riser's peerage have been rendered unfit for combat. Issei searched around and out of nowhere Riser broke through a wall and attacked Issei out of nowhere. Riser. I guess it's time to return the favor. I will give you the same treatment you gave my queen. And once I'm done with it, I will eliminate your king and take Ria's right in front of you, as you will be unable to move or do anything to stop me. And then I will do the same to the rest of the women in your peerage. Issei struggled and couldn't get out of Riser's grip, which was choking the life out of Issei 1 second at a time. Issei noticed that Riser was starting to glow and was burning hotter and hotter as it started to singe at his clothes. Raijin. In Issei's head, he is trying to incinerate us at close range. The only chance we have is to equip the Adamantide armor and promote to queen. Issei. Promotion queen. Raijin. See King's Adamantide armor. Issei's strength and ability to breathe returned to him, seeing that Akeno had came and hit Riser in the head with a flying kick, forcing him to release Issei from a death grip. Issei. Shields up. Issei's water barriers came to him from the water that was released inside the school, all of it having pieces of debris filtered out of it. Albion. Divide, 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 divide. Issei looked over to see Zenobia with her sacred gear deployed and taking Riser's power from him slowly but surely. Issei. I, the last head of the Gallagher family, Issei Henry Haidu Gallagher, will take you down, Riser. Getting on my bad side was the last thing you should have done. Those threats of yours seem quite empty now. What happened? Are you all bark and no bite now? Riser. No, you don't understand, this is for the future of all devils. To have that taken from them is something beyond your understanding, you damn half-breed. Issei. You talk too much and listen too little. Riser. What? Issei. You should have noticed my draconic aura as soon as you first saw me. If you had this embarrassment which you ate about to endure would not have happened. Singularity. A ball of water appeared and sucked Riser into it, the pressure increasing on him and Zenobia watching on in horror at what is happening. Zenobia. Issei. What are you doing? Just put him out of his misery. Rias. Stop, he is doing it the only way we see and do it. We can't kill him. His ability to regenerate is what helps him there, but his mind is not immortal. Unlike a god's mind which evolves with pain over time, the minds of phoenixes are very much mortal and can be broken. The only way to force Phoenix to give up is by breaking his mind or by forcing him into an unconscious state. Akeno. Though, for some reason he seems to be having fun. Inside Issei's mind. Raijin. You are starting to slip into your dark side, Issei. Watch it or else you may not recover. Issei. Damn it, you're right. Issei drops the singularity and adds another layer to his barrier. Akeno. Don't let your dark side consume you, Issei. Issei snapped out of it and took the Kyle grin off of his face. Issei. Last chance, surrender, Riser. Riser. No. I will not let my house be tarnished by someone as low as you. You who would stoop so low as to use dirty tricks like stabbing someone from behind and hiding in the shadows like a rat. The word rat echoes through his head, reminding him of his past, and that was the last straw as he snapped. Issei. Low growl of a dragon. Raijin. Ria's Gremory, I suggest you return to your peerage's home base inside the raiding game area. It seems that what Riser said just sent my partner over the edge. Ria's. Over the edge? Raijin. Yes, it seems that he has not let go of his past, it is still deeply his mental state. Clear the area now. Issei. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, expect your own life to be taken as a result of taking lives. Do you want to know what death tastes like, you overconfident chicken? Issei was charging a bolt of energy in his hand right in front of Riser's mouth and was started to glow a sea green color. Raijin. Partner, snap out of it, he is not Kakabiel. Control your rage. Issei ignored this and grabbed Riser by the throat and held him in a choking position while holding him upwards. Issei enraged. In the name of Raijin. Issei, stop. If you do not, the Chaos Karma Dragon will be summoned to stop you. Issei snapped out of it and with that threw an unconscious Riser away, in which the battle was considered decided as a victory to House Gremory. Rias ran up behind him and hugged him from behind, and Issei noticed something as well. He had made her cry, something which he had promised to himself was to not make a girl that he may or may not like cry. Issei. Rias, I'm sorry. Issei collapsed to his knees and fell unconscious. In the house of Zetches. Phoenix head. He, my son, lost. Zetches had a quite demonic smile on his face as he sipped his wine, and the father of Rias and Zetches appeared behind Zetches. Zetches. So father, what do you think? Is the man I raised worthy of marrying my sister? The father of Zetches smiled and a conversation ensued in the Gremory manner. Issei's mindscape. Raijin. You know, partner, if you want to avoid turning dark like that again, you need to avoid using your feelings to fight your battles for you. Issei turned around and saw a Japanese man in what would be casual attire in the 1600s for a samurai. Issei. If that's the case, it would require sealing away those memories. You know, if I do that, I may forget to take care of those who care for me. Raijin. Allow me to do it for you. I will release those memories in due time. When we take care of Kakabiel and what is left of his goons, you will feel better, more closure as things come to a close. But we will handle this at another time. In the meantime, it is time to wake up. It seems that cat might try to take advantage of your sleeping body. Issei. You know, I guess she has deserved that. She has been under stress lately since I have been busy. Raijin. Later, partner. Issei woke up from his mindscape and found Kuroka lying atop his body naked, and Issei moved his body, forcing her to wake up as well. Kuroka. You're finally awake. Kuroka said this while hugging Issei around the neck and feeling the pain from the fight with Riser, especially around his neck where Riser was trying to choke him. Issei. Coughing, careful, it still hurts. Kuroka backed up for a moment and gave Issei some water. Issei. How long? Kuroka. 2 days. Issei. How did everyone else fare? Kuroka. Rias has some minor scratches, Akeno is the same, Kiba has a large gash along his back, it was pretty deep, I'm surprised it missed his spine. Kaneko-chan just has a broken arm and a few scratches, while Zenobia has scratches, bruises and a deep cut under her chin. She wanted it to scar, and because she said, and I quote, I want to impress Issei-kun, so he can mate with me. Issei. Another one, sighs. Kuroka. If you're going to ask, I am fine with it. It's normal for dragons to have multiple mates, especially with how low the number of existing dragons is. Issei. You know, I just realized the same goes for your race as well. Kuroka. Oh, how naughty you are, would you like to start now or when we get home? Issei. I'm flirting with you, trying to have with you in the state that I am currently may do more damage to me, so I want to heal up before I do anything strenuous. Kuroka. Not if I have something to say about it. Kuroka swooped in low to Issei's face for a kiss to be interrupted by her sister. Kaneko. Issei, you pervert. Issei saw the state that Kaneko was in and then saw a broken arm and a few scratches. Rias. Kuroka, are you trying to take advantage of Issei while he is still injured? That's cheating. Kuroka stuck her tongue out and winked while putting a fist in a knocking sign above her head in an oh maybe I forgot type of pose. Akeno. It looks like he is going to need to be punished. Akeno said this while have a low and Hadley vocal giggle. Zenobia. Oh, are we lining up to see who will mate with him first? Raijin. Albion, why does she want to mate with my partner so badly? Albion. When she asked Issei to stop when he had Riser in that singularity, it screamed how much power he has into her mind, flipping the switch on her draconic mating instinct. Raijin. I figured as much. Issei. Please leave me be, I just want to heal in peace. Kuroka. Unfortunately, I am with Issei on this one, all of you go back to your beds, I will attend to you shortly. Asia. Asia. Yes, Ms. Kuroka. Kuroka. Could you take care of Issei while I get everyone back to their beds? Asia. Yeah. Kiba. Ha 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 ha, cough, ow. Issei. Looks like they got you good, Kiba. Kiba. It would have been much worse if you had not interrupted them. I prefer one slash on my back over anything else. Issei. If it were not for that lucky strike you would have had them cornered pretty good. Asia. Please both of you less talking and more resting. Tiba. Yeah, I think I am going to take a nap, talk later Issei. Tiba sleeping on his stomach to allow his back to heal fell asleep almost immediately. Issei. Hey Asia, how much do you remember? Asia. What do you mean? Issei. The night that they tried to remove your sacred gear. Asia. I don't remember much, just a flash of silver after hours of being chained to that giant cross. Issei. I see, would you like the whole story? Asia. You know what happened. Issei. Yes, I was the one who saved you. Issei retold the story of how he had found her under the control of rogue Fallen and rogue priests and how he destroyed the machine meant to harvest her sacred gear from her body and who was involved, but leaving Rainer out of the details as to keep animosity from appearing between the two. Issei. If I had not struck that church when I did, you would have died. I am quite glad I did what I did because I at least saved a life while doing what I do best. Asia. What? Issei. Killing. I was raised as a trained killer to assassinate enemies or completely obliterate a faction. I am what would be called a nuclear bomb. And during thatest fight I cracked while under the pressure of my hatred. Asia. Why are you telling me this? Issei. Because you are a good listener, if you wish to tell anyone else you can, but for some reason you just seem so familiar to my draconic instincts. Perhaps are you related to a dragon? Actually don't answer, if I am going to dig up bad memories, then don't answer that. Asia. Okay. Council of Hell. He is too dangerous, we should annihilate him. Do you really think that is possible? Look at the carnage he caused during the raiding game, that thunderbolt and resulting thunderstorm is on the level of catastrophic levels of destruction. Zetches? Wait. I think we are taking this too fast. Imagine the applications, being able to find and terminate terror groups with zero chances of survivors. Citri. That is exactly why, what if he turns on us? Serafal. He seems young, but why do you vouch for him, Gremory family head? Everyone looked at him, and Zetches retold the story of his upbringing, as well as everything he taught Issei. Serafal. Does that satisfy you, Bale family head? Bale. Lady Leviathan, I am satisfied with that answer. The meeting ends at a stalemate of what to do with someone of his caliber. His fate will rely on his ability to persuade the family heads on the demonic council, consisting of 5 family heads. Thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support the SC4LTCSRXDS for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. See you in the next video. Goodbye.